40 years ago, I created a suit, but it was dangerous, so I hid it from the world. My assistant, Darren Cross, they became obsessed with recreating my formula. If this technology gets out, it's going to be chaos. Scott, this is your chance to become the hero. I need you to be the AntMan.
I think our first move should be calling the Avengers.
There's a lot of action and it's pretty technical. How did you work around a tiny leading man?
It was fun because we had to figure out the way to sort of shrink him down and make it convincing. We used a lot of motion capture technology, which is basically stuffing Paul Rudd into a really tight-fitting outfit and recording him digitally. Whether he's running or jumping, I really wanted it to feel like it was Paul Rudd when he's tiny. Because, you know, every actor moves in a very specific way, and I really don't like those movies when you get used to seeing the actor and then when he becomes a hero, it's a stuntman or something and you can't really equate the two. It was important to really see Paul's eyes in the Ant-Man suit and just have him move the way that Paul did.
The special effects are amazing, especially in 3D. But when Paul shrinks, what's actually on set for you to act around?
Good question. Not much. These kind of movies, special effects, superhero movies, tax the imagination of actors. It's much harder acting than I imagined. For instance, the scene where Paul runs and goes through the keyhole. The Evangeline Lilly and I are there, and we have to look in sync. In other words, it can't be, you know, we're both looking, so you just sort of, you practice it a little bit, you get used to it, and you have to trust your effects coordinators who look in the camera, and they have everything measured in this angles, and they tell you, that's good, okay, that's perfect. So that's really good. You have to count on a lot of people in these movies.
The suit has power.
This is not some cute technology like the Iron Man suit. We're doomed.
So Ant-Man doesn't have any powers of his own. How does he prove himself against the other superheroes in the Marvel Universe?
Well, you're right. Scott Lang has 0 superpowers. It's all about the suit, and it's got to be about how he trains and is able to use the suit. But once he does, there's a fighting technique. You know, he's able to shrink and grow really quickly, which we see demonstrated in the movie as he sort of comes up against one of the other Marvel heroes in the universe, and it's fun to see him hold his own in a way. He's still new to it. He's not fully trained, but he's got a lot of spirit.
Is it true you filmed locations on tiny cameras to make it look big?
We did a couple of things. For every full-size set we had what we called a macro set. So if it was Luis's apartment, which has this wooden floor, we would have a visual effects team that would sort of take motion picture and still macro photography of these wood surfaces. So that then when we would tile it digitally, we would stitch together all these, like thousands of these digital stills, so that we could create a virtual floor that had all the texture and dimensionality of a real floor, but we could move our virtual camera around.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
The film is packed, a heist, father-daughter story, comedy. What makes Ant-Man stand out from other Marvel films?
Well, I think for the reasons that you mentioned, but I think the humor makes it very different from the other ones. Also, the family relations, my relationship to my daughter Hope, played by Evangeline Lilly, and Paul Rudd's relationship to his daughter. She was very good, by the way. Almost stole the show. You gotta watch those kid actors.
Despite not being the lead, Evangeline Lilly's role is very strong. How important was it to have such a big female character?
It was really, really important to me to have Hope's character be a big part of the movie. Her arc in the movie is every bit as important as Scott Lang's. The movie is, in no small part, about her journey to becoming a hero. It was something that Evangeline and I worked a lot on in the script phase, is really strengthening and deepening that character.
So you need to know how to punch.
You want to show me how to punch? Show me how to punch.
That's how you punch.